Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Sunday, and welcome to a new episode of Open Letters to a Survivor. I am your moderator, James, and I have two of the amazing queens of Open Letters to a Survivor down here on the bottom. We also have our guest up here at the top, which usually we do not start with the guest on the screen, but we're doing some different things today. Technical difficulties have us a little bit off whack, so we got it together. We are with you, ladies, and because of that, I'm not gonna talk like I usually do. So I'm gonna just be quiet, and I am gonna kick it off to Kisanda as she goes ahead and gets everything started. And you got it.
All right. Thank you so much, James. We appreciate you. And
Thank you.
hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome, as always, to Open Letters to a Survivor. You have the fabulous Lucy with us this evening. Good evening, Miss Lucy. How are
Good
you?
evening, everyone. Hello, Miss Cassandra, Miss Linda.
So, in lieu of Lady Poet and K Love are out this evening, and so we give happy birthdays to Lady Poet's mom. And so we are taking over the mic tonight, and we are here with our lovely guest, Miss Linda Henderson. Good evening, Linda.
Good evening, Cassandra and Lucy. Is it Lucy or Luciana? What do you
It's
go by?
Luciana or Lucy, and I answer to both.
Good morning, good evening to you two ladies. I'm saying that
Awesome.
because I didn't sleep last night. So
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
But we
yeah.
gonna wake you up. We gonna wake you up. So,
Right.
so we
No,
gonna
it
go ahead.
was one of those nights, and this evening when it comes and goes, you know where I'll be going.
Yep, I understand.
Absolutely.
Understand. We are going to go ahead and get started so that we can get into more conversation with you, Miss Linda. So, we're going to open up as the title of our podcast says with our Dear Survivor letter, since we are open letters to a survivor. And so just giving I will give a trigger warning as we will be discussing survivor stories this month, and for Linda, she will be discussing part of her story. Part of that is the loss of her daughter specifically, so we just want to put that out there for anyone who may be triggered in conversation of the loss of a child. Not maybe a baby child, but still, I mean, just your child, right? Doesn't really matter. And so we just want to put that out there. And so my letter is in kind. So, dear survivor, I will not pretend to know the pain of losing a child, but I do know and want to share with you this. You were never meant to carry the weight of such a loss alone. Your child's life was a light in this world, and that light has not gone out, and it never will. It shines in the memories that make you laugh, in the lessons they left behind, in the love they poured into you, and the love you continue to pour into them. Grief may be part of your story, but so is love. I will not tell you to be strong or to move forward. I will tell you this: love does not end, love does not fade, and your child's life, their laughter, their light, all of it still exists because they were here and because you love them now and forever. You do not walk this road alone. Those of us who see your grief also see your love, and we honor both. Take care and be well as you elevate along your healing journey. Sincerely, Lady Poet Speaks, K Love, Miss Lucy, the entire team of Open Letters to a Survivor, tonight's guest, Linda Henderson, and me, Cassandra Williams. And so, with that, I'm going to introduce our guest once again, but this time a little more formally. Miss Linda Henderson, welcome, welcome, and welcome again. How are you this evening, Linda?
Well, I was doing okay, but that poem was very striking to the heart. Absolutely beautiful. Brought
you.
my tears. They're always there. They're always in our heart. Sometimes they're visible and sometimes they're
Mhm.
not. But that was
Mhm.
absolutely beautiful. And it's so true. Love transcends the universe
Yes.
completely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And like I said, I started with, listen, I'm not going to pretend that I know. I've experienced grief, yes, but not of this type. And so with that, I am going to ask you, please, to tell us about yourself and your story.
Well, to start with, I am happily married to my husband of 28 years. He is my rock. We are a blended family for 28 years. So we have 5 adult children, all grown with families, 4 here on earth and 1 in heaven. We have 10 grandchildren and 5 great grandchildren. So I have lots of blessings in life. I'm an author, which I'm pretty excited about because I just can't believe that I did such a thing. And I'm a brave mom. So my daughter, Andrea, was 27 years old. She was at the prime of her life, I guess you could say. She had that dream wedding, fell in love, had a 2-year-old little boy. They had just purchased a house in August of 2011. And she was a social worker. She was out working with the youth of our community, girls between the ages of 15 and 17. She was a teacher for their New Directions program, their literacy program, girls that have been troubled kind of through the foster system, and this is the end of the road for them type deal. So she taught them their reading and enjoyed her job. They were out one day with her and her coworker were in the community with a couple of girls. They had raised money. It was December 20th. And they were pretty happy because these girls had raised money and they were going to adopt a child. And they had just called the main office and talked to their boss and said, you know, these girls are doing great. They were, of course, teaching them to be good citizens in society with all their trauma and backgrounds. And they were 2 blocks away from their work. They were returning back to work. Stopped waiting to turn left when a transport truck driver hit them from behind. He was texting while driving, having an argument with his girlfriend on the phone. Pushed them into the oncoming traffic where they were hit yet again by another vehicle, T-boned. And Andrea was a passenger. Her co-worker was the driver, and they were killed instantly. That is the day when my life was shattered before me with no knowledge of how I would survive the next moment. Yeah.
Wow. Well, first and foremost, my condolences to you, because I'm sure, in as much as that happened, I could see in many ways where it feels like it happened yesterday. And so we definitely extend our condolences to you for that.
Thank you.
Um, yeah,
Absolutely. And I
life is
totally
a
agree.
precious gift.
It
Yeah.
is. It is definitely a precious gift, and we do.
And she was pregnant. I forgot to mention she was pregnant with her second baby. And she was very excited to be having a sibling for her little 2-year-old boy, my grandson. So, yeah, it's, it's one of those things I always say. We listen to the news and, you hear of these things happening. And, my life is divided in the before and after. Everything I always divided. When Andrea was here, when she's not here, although she's still with me, but physical. You would listen to the news and you would hear of accidents and, dreadful situations. And, it'd be like, oh my gosh, my heart goes out to that family. But then you can pull back and, well, it wasn't you, right? You can only go so far. But then it became my reality, and which was totally different. So my world was shattered, and I had to build, I say, from ground zero with nothing. I often compare it to um, tornadoes and world situations that happen, earthquakes and people, they just stand there and they have their whole life is gone, their house is gone, their family may be killed, whatever, and you have nothing left. And then you just have to figure out how to make that next step forward and rebuild your life. Basically, it's rebuilding your life. And for me, it was December 20th, 2011. So it's taken a long time. I mean, grief is a process, as we know, right? And you have to lean into the process. You have to acknowledge all the pain, every emotion that comes with the trauma. You have to acknowledge the anger, the depression, the anxiety, the fears, all of it. You have to lean into it. And as horrible as it sounds, you have to feel all of that, because when we do, then we validate the situation that happened. I validate my loss. I validate that she was here, and we have good reason. And slowly it moves you forward, step by step.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And we definitely, once again, extend our condolences to you. And with that, I want to ask you, what do you wish people understood better about what it's like to go through what you have experienced?
Sorry, I didn't catch what you said there.
Oh, I apologize. What do you wish people understood better about what it's like to go through what you experienced?
Well, society needs more awareness. I guess like anything, we're trying to increase awareness with trauma, and when it comes to grief, here in Canada, we get 3 days off work when somebody dies, right? And then you go back to work, and then you're expected to function in society with this gaping hole in your heart. So I think the awareness, and that's what I'm trying to do, create awareness within society, within my community, that grief is real, and that it doesn't go away in a few weeks. It doesn't go away in a few months. It doesn't go away. We live with it for years and for the rest of our life. And people are afraid to talk about it, because I guess it's just lack of education, and that's what we need to do. We need to educate people more about, the how people are reacting is normal. It's normal to cry 10 years after. It's normal to be working 10 years after and have a breakdown day. And people are shocked when that happens, but that is normal.
Yes.
It's awareness. That's what I would like to see. That we just create more awareness for people. For
Yes.
sure.
And
Absolutely.
Linda, in addition to that increased awareness, right? How do you find meaning in what you've gone through or what you're going through?
Well, it's a process. Like I said, that first year, well, I mean, I can't even say time wise, right? The time has a way of pushing you along. You go from minutes, you take it moment by moment, and then before you know it, it's days into weeks and weeks into months. And for me, those first 3 months, I was heavily medicated, and my husband was my caregiver, and I existed like a robot. He just said to me, he'd come home from work and say, "So when's the last time you showered? Or when's the last time you brushed your teeth?" Those normal activities of daily living that we just automatically do and not even think about it became insignificant, right? Because your body is so wrapped up in the emotion of the grief that you need guidance. So I had a good support network there with him, and then I had I was medicated. That may be for not for all, but for me, it was necessary and helpful. Followed along by my doctor. I had counseling. I had the same counselor for 9 years. And some people, again, society, some people might think, you had a counselor for 9 years? Yeah, I did,
Yeah.
and I needed it. And I think it was after that 9 years when I started writing my book. And that's when I believe that I started to grieve in a different way and connected with people, like-minded people like yourself, like you too, like, Facebook groups, being around people that share the same pain. And that's important. That's the support of even just one person to talk to, and then trying to network a group of people, support groups, all of that sort of thing. Those are healing tools that help get through, right?
Indeed,
But the turning point for me was writing my book. One of my big things was walking. In the beginning, it's that small daily little step of opening the door and just looking outside. If you just do one small thing to move you along out of that present moment of pain, and then gradually you build on that. And so I started walking. And I was out walking one day and I came home and I said to my husband, that's it. I'm going to write a book. I said, okay. And of course, I was a nurse for 37 years. I'm dating myself. Everything that we did, all of our progress notes and everything was all handwritten. I knew nothing about computers. So I said, how do I do it? So he said, well, you just open up Word. Oh, okay, what's Word? It was horrible. I knew nothing about computers, right? And so again, he was my guide. But writing that book, day after day, trying to reach into my heart to relive everything, to express how it really felt, so that when the reader read, then it was relatable. In those first 6 months, I was born and raised in a Christian home and believe in heaven, and my daughter's in heaven. But I just wanted, I guess, confirmation. So I read many books about near-death experiences. I just wanted to hear what's heaven like. I know it's there, but you're telling me it's there, so that makes me feel good. And this one book I picked up was written by a neurosurgeon, and I'm thinking, oh, that's no problem. I was a nurse for 37 years. I can understand all that lingo, right? I picked it up, and my poor old grief brain said, pardon? Sorry? Oh, I have hearing aids. So sorry, guys. Yeah, I thought yeah. Anyway, so I picked up the book and said, no, I can't do this. I can't understand all of these complex words. So when I wrote my book, I said, you know what? I want to write it as though I'm talking to someone person to person, and they've lost their child, their loved one. And this is how you're going to feel. And these things are normal. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be and have just to be relatable. So when a person sat down to read it, they could understand and relate it to their own experiences. So it was a healing journey for me. I didn't realize it at the time, when it was all said and done. It was healing for me to just move through it and be able to reach out and have this tool now to help other people.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to share your story with others?
Sorry?
What inspired you to share your story with others?
I think after 9 years, I had so many stories within, so much to tell, and it was just like, there's other people out there suffering like me. I have so much to tell that I felt like I could help people. I felt like I could take my pain, take my suffering, and I felt like I could just take it and give it to someone and say, here, look at me. I'm a survivor and I'm thriving. I'm doing this and you can do this. I wanted to help other people.
Yes.
I wanted to be of service to other people. And my whole goal was like, if I can just help one person, then sitting down, going through this, writing all these words for 2 years will have made it. I've achieved my goal, right? So, yeah.
That is awesome. Like you said, people need to know that you're not alone and that it's possible, because in those moments, that's the last thing you feel is a possibility, right?
It's a very
You
lonely experience,
know,
right? It's a very
yeah,
lonely
yeah,
experience to be walking through. And some people might think, oh well, you were a nurse. Somebody asked me before, you were a nurse for 37 years, you've seen a lot and experienced. And yes, I held the hand of someone as they passed on, and I stayed with families as their family member was passing on, and I have experience with that and knowledge. But at the end of the day, when I went home, it would affect me. I would walk through it emotionally and then get on with my family and say, thank God that's not me. Right. So there was no way that I could have been prepared in any way to know. I didn't even know what grief was. Grief, okay, someone dies, but to actually experience the in-depth, uh, crushing effect of grief, all the different things that are under that umbrella, like anger. I never experienced such rage in my entire life. I didn't know that such anger existed, but it's
yeah.
part of grief. And depending on the
Mhm,
situation, certain things are, it's unique, as unique as our fingerprint. Trauma
mhm,
and grief. It's unique to all of our individual situations. It's unique to our personalities. It's unique because of our personalities, our families, our backgrounds. So, like you say, it is. I wanted people to not feel alone, to feel that
mhm,
what you're feeling is normal and you're not going crazy. Because I remember feeling
mhm,
that too, with all of
mhm,
those emotions in your head, and you need to recognize each one of them and call them by name and acknowledge them, and it helps the clarity. But before you do that, you feel like your mind is going crazy, and you're
mhm.
not. It's all part of the grief process,
Yeah. And
for
so,
sure.
Linda, with all of that, right, what brings you hope and joy now?
um I guess it comes back, well, first of all, my family. I love my family intensely. Um, grief is ugly, messy, but teaches you a lot of things. And one of the main things that
Mhm,
grief teaches you is that life is precious, and that
mm,
today is our only little piece of time that we can control. Yesterday is gone. We don't even
mhm,
know if tomorrow is going to come. So it's what
mhm,
you do with today. So, how I live and how I cultivate hope is by appreciating life. Life is a gift. And this moment
mhm,
in time today, you do the best that you can with it. You love and
mhm,
appreciate, enjoy nature, enjoy art, music, people, your family, appreciate all the blessings in life. And by walking through the grief, doing all the actions of living through it, then slowly hope creeps in, and
mhm,
you see the appreciation for life. And that's what keeps me going. My love for Andrea is my beacon, because
mhm,
that's, as you said, untouched by death, right?
mhm,
She is what we have, will be there forever until my heart stops beating. So I live every day with her love, our story, and an appreciation for life, which grief has taught me. I had appreciation for life before, but you become a new person. It's changed.
Okay,
Yeah.
speaking of your story, tell us about your book. Let's hear a little bit
Uh,
more about your book.
yeah, I came home and said I was going to write this book, and then I had no idea what I was going to do, like I said. But I knew that this is a journey, this is a road, right? So I decided that, like, the cover of my book is me walking on this rocky road, and there's no definition, and it's big, huge rocks, and you don't know
mhm,
where you're going
Mhm.
because you have no idea. But ahead, there's all the dark clouds, which we see. but the rays of sun are going to shine through, because the sun, behind every storm, behind every cloud, the sun is going to shine through. And so then the book, I based it on the journey, the road, the road of grief. So like the first chapter is the big boulder. That's when it all happened. And then, one of the other chapters, the path of perseverance. So it's about paths and roadmaps, and you're on this journey that you know nothing about, and these are the things that you need to learn. And so I kind of had that framework of the road of love and hope, because love is, like you said, love is eternal and gives us the hope. Pretty much summarizes it there.
I love it.
Awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. And it's so funny when you were talking about, being a gift, right? And this being a present. And it just reminded me, like when I was in high school, I used to always see that quote, yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, and today is a gift. And that's why it's called the present, right? And so as you
Absolutely.
it just reminded me of that, because I was like thinking in my head, like, why does this sound like it's bringing me back? I'm getting a little deja vu here.
Why does it
So I
sound so
realized,
familiar, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I realized that's what it was. I actually had to look it up while we were sitting here talking. I was like, wait, this is really like getting to me. I'm like, because I remember that because it touched me so much. And
Yeah.
I was like, am I making this up? Let me look. So yeah, so I was sitting here just doing like some quick research. And so Miss Linda, how has your journey shaped your future goals or priorities?
How has it shaped my future? Well, like I said, number one, I love passionately, I appreciate life. Um, my little motto that I've adopted for myself, and I think it's important, is embrace the moments. And that comes back to today, right? Embrace the moments, whatever they look like for you. If those moments are when you're crying and you can breathe in between and have a drink of water, then you embrace those moments. Or if those moments are that you had a good day, doesn't matter that you fell yesterday emotionally, but you had a good day today. So you embrace those moments. When I'm out walking, when we're camping, when we're out and about, I take pictures of everything. And my husband says to me, you realize that's a weed you're taking a picture of, right? And I say to him, but look at the purple flower on that weed, right? Because you have to embrace every moment of life. Because like I said, today is here. Cherish the memories. Cherish the memories. However tough they may be right now, they may bring the tears. But when it comes to grief and the loss of someone that you love so dearly, you cherish those memories because they're moments in time that you shared with that person that you love. And so cherish the memories and make more memories, new memories, with the people around you that you have. And that gives us hope for tomorrow. So that's pretty much how I move forward in life. I value life. I value my family. And then my healing is continuous with reaching out and helping others. I go for book signings. I talk to people and they share their stories. I get to share my story. They get to see the big, huge picture of my Andrea. And I walk forward with honor of her.
I love
Yeah.
it. That's really special. And just being able to enjoy the moment, cherish the moments, embrace
Oh,
the
yeah.
moments. I
Mm-hmm.
love that because it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, what final message would you like to leave for our listeners today?
Well, pretty much that was it. But, I would say that when another thing that I've discovered, I've had lots of years to work through this, right? And I've kind of developed a little thing called the AAA concept. And it's like 3 pillars, if you imagine: acknowledgement, action, with honor and appreciation. So with grief, you need to acknowledge, as I said, acknowledge everything that you feel. Give those feelings names. Say, I'm sad. Acknowledge everything that you're going through, and you need to shed those tears, and it's a hard process and you have to work through it. But with the acknowledgement, then you have to allow little actions of hope. You do actions daily, like just write one thing down. I started out with writing one thing down in my agenda. So tomorrow I'm going to brush my teeth, or tomorrow I'm going to make a phone call to the doctor. But I would write it down. And if I accomplished that one little task, then it gave me strength and I celebrated that. And then maybe the next time I could write two things down that I could do. So that's allowing hope to enter in. And with those actions, it moves you forward to appreciation, and then back to the appreciation of life. And we need to be grateful for the little things in life. Grateful for, again, those moments when you can breathe easier. Grateful for, it starts out with small, and then the gratitude just becomes bigger and bigger. So acknowledgement, actions, and appreciation. And that's like a concept for me to have worked through to get to where I am today.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I like that framework, that acknowledgement, appreciation, action, and then appreciation. And so, Ms. Linda, how can you be reached if our viewers want to contact you for more information?
Well, I did have a website, and it's currently being worked on, and it's going to be ready in a couple of weeks, but I don't have my website right now. But I have my Facebook author page, which is just Linda Henderson. And if you Google that, and then my other page is Linda Wesley Henderson for Facebook, and Instagram is Linda Henderson 5044. And I'm also on YouTube, Linda Henderson at Mama Pain.
Yeah. So Ready Red says, I have a hard time with small tasks or just getting started. Yeah, so I think it was a great idea, like you said, Linda, to just share like how you just did step by step, right? It's just like how you just take in every little bit at a time.
Sorry, what were you saying? Was that something that someone had said?
Yeah, we had a viewer who put up a comment saying that they were having a hard time at times just doing little things. And so, your
of course,
suggestion,
it's difficult to
just
do those
do
little
one
things,
thing
but you take those little things one at a time. And if you accomplish that one task that you set out to do, then you celebrate that and be proud. And not judgmental of yourself. You have to be gentle and compassionate with yourself. And if you set out that task and you're not able to achieve it, that's okay too, because you can always try again. The old saying, try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. So that one little task can move you forward to the next task. But in the beginning, it is very hard. And it's as simple as writing down shower today, because you don't think of those physical things. And if you do that, then that is an accomplishment. And that is you moving forward, letting that little fragment of hope in.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Lucy. I'm sorry.
No, I said no, and it really makes a difference, And I seen I think that was Lady Poet just said you have to give yourself grace, and you do, and it makes a difference. And just keep going, never giving up, and knowing like if you don't get something accomplished today, like she said, do it tomorrow. It makes a difference, but just don't be hard on yourself. And know that it's okay not to be okay, but just take your time, one step
Yeah,
at a time.
you have to be gentle and patient with yourself, right? And
Yes, you do.
by doing those small little things, one thing at a time, it keeps you grounded to the here and now, keeps you grounded to the present moment. And you have to start out by the small tasks. And it's time consuming, and it's a process. And that's where the patience comes in. right? It's like anything else in life. I mean, you I often compare it to gardening, and planting seeds. And, I've gotten more into that now, I think because of my grief. But I can't wait to see what that little seed is going to do. I've planted it and I've watered it and I've given it sun and I've nurtured it. So that's like grief. We have to, it sounds like it's not the right thing when you say you're nurturing the grief, but you're leaning into the grief, and then your hope is growing. But that seed, you have to work at it, and eventually the beauty will be seen.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Linda, for joining us this evening. Like I said, you put me completely in mind of that quote. Yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, today is a gift, and that's
Yes.
why it's called the present. Because you spoke to all of those things, right? And that lean in on grief, I think is a good way of phrasing it. Because, like you said, you just have to give yourself that grace.
and
And
and you
just
you
take it
have
moment.
you also have to know and expect that there will be setbacks. you know
Mhm.
um it, like I said, it's a process, and the process comes with the ups and the downs. And when you have those successful moments, those are the moments to cherish and
Yeah.
celebrate. I remember saying to my husband when he'd come home for lunch, sometimes I'd say, guess what, I was on the phone to my friend today and I talked for 10 minutes, because for the first 6 months I didn't talk to anybody. So I'd be like,
Mm.
did you, and even now, fast forward 13 years, right? When I've accomplished 3 or 4 things in the day, at the end of the day, I'll talk about, my husband and I'll talk, and I'll say, well, I did this and I did this and I did that. And I'm still proud of myself, because I know there's days when I have to go to bed and I can't even get out
Mhm.
that front door. But
Mhm.
when I am successful, I celebrate those moments, however little they may be. That's hope, right? That's hope
Yeah.
coming in small fragments.
That is hope.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it keeps you pressing. Hope
Absolutely.
keeps you pressing.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
That's
And so with that, we are going, so stick with us, Miss Linda, because we are going to go into our next segment. Because you spoke to this as well, like the support of therapy, right? And
Mm.
so, Miss Lucy, I'm going to hand it over to you with our Let's Go to Therapy segment, because after all of this, that would be one of the next things you might want to consider. So I'm going to hand it over
Absolutely.
to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, yes. Oh, we just want to thank Miss Linda so much for what you have shared, and we really appreciate it. And while we go to let's go to therapy, let's just keep it right there in our hearts what we heard from Miss Linda, while also listening to Let's Go to Therapy. And today, let's go to therapy segment. We have Belinda Williams, who specializes in trauma for our people and our communities. You can reach her at Belinda at chawc.org. We also have Dr. Shamara Thomas Hutchison with Around the Clock Approach to Therapy. You can reach her today on all social media platforms at Mindologist. You can also check out her book called Horology of Woman. To find out how you can be featured on our Let's Go to Therapy segment, you can reach us at Open Letters to a Survivor at gmail.com, and in the subject line, Let's Go to Therapy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lucy. And I am going to follow that up with both our spotlight segment and our sponsorship. So I'm going to start out with the spotlight. So, our spotlight today is our very own Miss PJ Jones. And so she works alongside us and also helps to fill in when we need a guest co host. And so, Soul for Resilience Coaching with PJ Jones. PJ is a holistic trauma informed life coach an NLP certified practitioner dedicated to helping individuals reclaim their power, heal from adversity, and step into a life of resilience and purpose. With decades of experience working with at risk families, PJ provides transformative coaching that is both compassionate and action driven. What she offers: one on one empowerment coaching, which are personalized sessions designed to help clients navigate trauma, rebuild confidence, and cultivate resilience. She offers group coaching and workshops, which is a supportive space for healing and growth alongside others on a similar journey. Roots of Resilience, a journey to empowerment retreat, which is a 5 day immersive experience to help participants break free from limiting beliefs and embrace their strength. And also, upcoming course for grieving parents. PJ will soon be launching a course specifically for parents healing from the unimaginable loss of a child, offering support, guidance, and tools to navigate grief while honoring their child's memory. Join the Fearless and Flourishing Women Summit. PJ is hosting the Fearless and Flourishing Women Summit this coming weekend on March 8th and 9th. So that's next Saturday and Sunday in celebration of International Women's Day and Women's History Month. This powerful event will feature inspiring speakers who have overcome adversity and transformed their pain into purpose. General admission is free, but donations are welcome to support this movement of resilience and empowerment. PJ is committed to helping others reframe their pain into power. Those ready to take the next step in their healing journey can connect with her for guidance, support, and transformation. And so you can reach out to her in Linktree. You can look up Soulful Resilience Journey, or you can email her directly at with PJ at soulfulresiliencejourney.site. That's .site. All right, PJ. And I'm going to move over now to our sponsorship. So please, please, please empower our mission, right? Open Letters to a Survivor seeks sponsors to help us shine a light on mental health issues within communities for people of color. Together, we can create lasting change. Please email Open Letters to a Survivor at gmail.com to sponsor our podcast. And also, if you want to reach out to PJ, or if you would like for your business to be a spotlight on Open Letters to a Survivor, get us at that same email address, open letters to a survivor at gmail.com. And you can put in the subject line spotlight or PJ if it's easier. We'll make sure that you get in contact with her. And so now, with all of that, we are going to wrap up the evening. We want to make sure to remind you to please go to Facebook, join our Facebook group of the same name, Open Letters to a Survivor podcast group, or you can go to our YouTube as well. Well, not or, and, right? Go to our YouTube page. Give us that subscribe, give us those love, those like, that share, and subscribe. Please do it. We are now, having said all of that, going to turn into our last segment of the evening for that motivational minute with Tim Stevens.
After, can I just say where to find my book?
Sure.
I forgot to.
It's Tim. No problem. All right.
I can't hear you all, but I hope everyone can hear me.
We hear
Yep.
you.
You can
All
hear
right.
Yep.
I see your heads nodding, so that's a good thing. I'm glad on tonight, and I know it's been a few weeks since I've been on, but I'm glad tonight I'm on. And I'm glad I was able to hear that touching story, because we all have to. I would just want to encourage everyone to know that we have to continually stay encouraged, no matter what, no matter what's going on. We have to continually stay encouraged and know that the suffering is just now, but in due time, the Lord's going to see you through. If you put your trust in Him, if you give it all to Him, He will continually see you through. And one of my instructors at Ashland always started off by saying that troubles and heartache and pain have an expiration date. It's not going to be forever. What you're going through now is going to be different than what may happen tomorrow or throughout the week. But I love what you all was saying on here, that concentrate on the present. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about what's going to happen next week or do throughout this week. Concentrate on what's going on today. Get your mind set on what's going on today and ask the Lord for guidance on how to get through today. I always ask the Lord each and every morning, please lead me, guide me, and direct me through this day's journey. I don't know what's going to happen, but He does. And if you continually put your trust and dependence in Him, if you keep your mind stayed on Him, He'll keep you in His perfect peace. And no matter what you're going through, He will bring the peace to get you to get you through whatever you're going through. And that peace is ultimate peace and guidance to get you through what you're going through even now. Because a great example of that is in the book of Mark chapter 4, when it was a great storm happening, and many people was worried about that storm, and they went and it was on a boat, and they went and got Jesus because the boat was they felt the boat was gonna break in half and they was gonna drown, but instantly when Jesus woke up, he said, "Peace be still," and everything remained still, and the storm was over. God, and I said that to say, because if you just call on Jesus, He'll bring peace to stop your storm from happening, and He's gonna get you through. And you ain't gonna worry, you ain't gonna wonder how you got through. You're gonna know it was Jesus. So I say that to say that if you put your mind stayed on Jesus, you give him all you have, He will give you some assurance to get you through. And that's why I love the song so well, that this is my story, this is my song. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine, heir of salvation, purchase of God, born of His Spirit, washed in His blood. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. And I'm just going to read these few verses. I'm going to be out your way from 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 6 through 11. And it says this: "So humble yourselves under the mighty power of God, and at the right time He will lift you up in honor. Give all your worries and cares to God, for He cares about you. Stay alert. Watch out for your great enemy, the devil. He prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Stand firm against him and be strong in your faith. Remember that your Christian brothers and sisters all over the world are going through the same kind of suffering you are. Stay alert. I mean, in His kindness, God called you to share in His eternal glory by means of Christ Jesus. So after you have suffered a little while, He will restore, support, and strengthen you, and will place you on a firm foundation." I'll read that once again. In His kindness, God called you to share in His eternal glory by means of Christ Jesus. So after you have suffered a little while, He will restore, support, and strengthen you, and place you on a firm foundation. All power to Him forever. Amen. So remember, remain faithful, and know that if you're going to suffer just a little while, but God's going to bring you through. Remember Romans 8:18. "For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared to the glory that shall be revealed within us." And remember, God's glory is gonna see you through. Remember, God didn't call you to be successful, but He called you to remain faithful. Remain faithful, and God is gonna see you through. God bless you. God keep you.
Man.
Amen. 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 So thank you so much, Tim, for that motivational minute. What Lady Poet said, you took us to church this evening. And
God be the
Linda,
glory.
I am going to turn it over to you to give information about how we can get a copy of your book.
My book, The Road of Love and Hope, is available on Amazon. You just search my name, Linda Henderson, or the title, The Road of Love and Hope, available on
All
Amazon.
right, ladies. Awesome. So you heard that
What?
on Amazon. Please go and reach out, especially sounds like not only for yourself, but maybe a great gift for someone that you know who could use that support and that example, right, for guiding their lives. Thank you so much, Linda, for joining us this evening. We
Oh, you're
really
welcome. It's my
appreciate your
pleasure. Thank you.
wisdom.
You ladies are
Yes,
remarkable. Thank you.
thank you so much for sharing and for coming on. Thank you, Miss Lucy, for stepping on stage with us this evening.
Thank
As
you.
always, the
Superstar,
most
Thank
superstar
you.
Lucy.
Thank you.
ways.
I love y'all.
Listen, Lucy will put your microphone together for you now because she got it.
Yes, yes. We will that back in real quick. I'm like, the devil is a lie. Not today.
That's right.
Works well
Right.
all of the
Thank
times.
you all so much for joining us this evening. We will see you next week. Same back time, same back station, right? Open Letters
Yes.
to a Survivor podcast on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. This week we are featuring survivor stories. That's our theme for this month. We thank you very much for joining us. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.